Flowline is so powerful. Again, all this debris being pulled upward from the gravity into the mothership, done with thinking particles, massive amounts of debris, and as well, again, Flowline with the fire on the ship. So here you see a little bit of the grayscale render of some of that debris. I'm sure it's a little tough to see, but there it is. Comp doing their magic. And there was so much Flowline smoke and fire with the mothership. They did an amazing job. And again, compositing. So this shot is incredible. The amount of flowline simulation, the details involved. Thinking Particles was used for the destruction of these oil derricks. You also see the floating debris. This is another one of the great ways that Flowline and Thinking Particles work together. TP can read Flowline data and float over the top. And of course this. So I'm going to pause here a little bit, and I know it's noisy imagery, but you can see all these extra cuts in here. Cutting apart this landscape, all these extra rock details. And you know, sometimes you add all this detail and then the lighting and the compositing makes it a little hard to see. This is where your attitude has to come in and say, you know what? This makes the shot look better. All the flowline dust coming up and water. So let's, oh, it's too bad my controls aren't here. But here you see the wireframes for the buildings. And you can start to see all these cars were simulated with thinking particles. The destruction starts to appear, especially things like this. This building being torn apart. This is done with a very common method in TP called a cage system, where you build a low-res cage and then with a variety of animation controls you can direct the motion, and then you fragment, volume break, or cut by hand the details of the glass and the high-res geo, and you attach that to the cage and it goes along for the ride. All the different flow line passes, fire, amazing stuff. Lighting. All these fireballs, look at this stuff. There's so many details in this shot. So you can kind of see, you can see these cuts in the road, all hand cut with a custom cutter I wrote called Fast Cutter, we'll show that here in a little bit. TP simulating all this breakage and debris coming up. Here you can actually see, look at this, you can actually see the low-res cage is a Voronoi pattern using volume breaker inside this building. But of course when you render it and comp it, you can't see that Voronoi. You've got lots of high-res geo over the top. Now this shot, most of this geo was laid out by our awesome layout and animation department. Again, we've got Flowline. Here you start to see, this is probably coming from our excellent modeling department, but all this, you can see all this small debris floating around. Thinking particles. So here you actually have a bunch of extra debris added by effects and thinking particles. We've got layout and animation, bringing all these buildings down in just the right way. It's all these teams together making these images possible. And here, this building comes smashing down. Actually, let's go back and, because I want to show some of the wireframes of this. So, look at some of these details in here. You have all this distorting, bending, crumbling detail. Tons of shattered glass, so much destruction. This is done with thinking particles. You can see you got windows broken out from the center outward, broken out at random. Yes, this poor bridge always gets destroyed. Actually, let's jump back. Let's take a quick look at some of the flowline elements. Well, first we've got some of these nice, look at this distorting, bending metal. Honestly, I'm not sure how that was done. Here we can see some of the flowline passes, water simulation, flowline details, incredible amounts of detail. And again, look at all this destruction. Look at all these windows broken out. Watch these areas as these things crumble and push. Oops. Just incredible amounts of detail. Thinking particles. And this is one of my personal favorites. Here's our comp team showing off their layers. Let's go back. I want to show off some of this stuff. Look at this foot crumbling and pushing in as these things rise up. Yeah, just amazing. The number of layers involved, smoke layers, compositing, atmosphere. Great work. Another favorite. Look at the crazy destruction in this. This is just madness. Fairly close up, you've got this giant foot pushing an entire, multiple neighborhoods together, pushing all these buildings together. It's just a giant mess of destruction. Seeing these buildings break in front of your eyes, seeing these windows shatter. You know, thinkingParticles, Max, V-Ray, Nuke, Flowline, and a lot of effort by a lot of people.